Hey, y'all. So, Root and River, we believe that every great brand is a spiritual experience, and that the spiritual aspect of a brand, which is the way it makes you feel in your soul, is an essential. And so, when Emily and I started Root and River, coming up on almost 6 years ago, and then have added to our team with Kat and Jen and other strategic partners, we have created this model that is somewhat unprecedented. Where we're not an agency. We don't do tactical execution. We don't do ad buys. We don't do creative. We have partners for that. And we focus on what we call an intrinsic branding practice. So intrinsic branding practice is how you figure out the spiritual essence of your brand. Well, that can be really esoteric. It's esoteric for some of our clients, even. Like once they've been through our process, it's still like there's a reprogramming or a reshuffling of how to practice intrinsic branding in a practical way. Well, what I thought I would do is shoot a series of videos. This is the first one on some of the takeaways or deliverables from an experience with us. And so the first thing, and kind of a fundamental thing that we do with our clients, is we determine what we call their root belief. A root belief is the organizing principle of your soul. So it could be you if you're a solo entrepreneur, a founder, all the way up to a big giant company. The soul of the brand is your root belief. And a root belief is a philosophy. It's a doctrine. It's a type of gospel of the way you see the world, the way your brand sees the world. And the challenge for people is we have all been conditioned to figure out what people want to hear and then say it. And we coach people to go the other way, is figure out what you want to say and say it. What that requires, though, to not only uncover your root belief, which is its own experience for that, it's just something that has to be experienced, but how to use your root belief, this idea of sharing your soul with the world can engender a lot of insecurity. And so one of the things that we emphasize with a root belief is if you do believe it, then your job isn't to figure out how to say it in a way that people like it or don't like it, even though that's your conditioning, maybe. Your job is to just say it anyway. And so one of the things that comes up with a root belief is an insecurity. This is why people like slogans and one-liners and taglines, which don't really mean anything. They don't do anything. They're not contagions, positive contagions. They're just bleh, they're just there. But a root belief as an organizing principle gives you something to talk about, but in the talking about it, it can produce insecurity. And like most things of the soul, the only way to get rid of the insecurity, which is an ego mind trait, is to do it anyway. So that's why we say, like all things in life, intrinsic branding requires courage and execution. So it's the courage to go inward and the courage to express it, and then the execution to do it consistently over time. Thanks.